everybody, James Akers here. Today I want to talk to you about the power of a monthly point-to-point retirement account. Now, when I'm referring to a monthly point-to-point, this is a fixed index product that we use for a lot of our clients' retirements when we roll their 401k into, and I want to go over how powerful that fund actually is because of the monthly point-to-point. It's a really complicated scenario, but I'm going to try to simplify it as much as I possibly can just so that you can understand how good this fund is. But to give you an example, the absolute worst 10 years of this fund, the worst 10 years, including 2008, 2008 was included with the worst 10 years, this fund still had amazing growth because of the way it's indexed on a monthly point-to-point instead of the traditional annual point-to-point. Now, to help me illustrate that for you, I've created this little chart. Now, I'm not an artist, and I don't play an artist on TV, so this is a pretty simple chicken scratch type situation here, but it should illustrate. For the purpose of this illustration, we're going to assume that this client has $100,000 in their 401k. Okay, that's our assumption, because I want to make my math easy for the purpose of illustration, so I don't have to get my calculator and all that kind of stuff out. So we're assuming $100,000. So on a traditional 401k, let's assume on this side I have written annual. I don't know how much you can see from that far away, and on this side is monthly. So this side is going to be our traditional type 401k stock-based fund. And this side is going to be the index fund that I suggest to my clients for their retirement accounts, especially as they get closer to retirement. We suggest this for them. So let's assume on this traditional, let's say we have a bad year, which we're expecting a market correction soon. And let's say January is down 10%. And let's say February is down 5%. And let's say March is down 5%, okay? So that's 20% down for the first quarter. Then let's say it recovers, and let's just say it's up 2% every month after that. So let's just go with this scenario, 2% every month after that, okay? If in a traditional fund that's calculated on the annual, they're going to take all this and add it together. So we have 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 2 times 9 is 18. But then we have minus 10, minus 5, which is minus 20. So in this particular example, this fund would have lost 2% over the year. Okay, so that $100,000 would lose $2,000. So now it'll be worth $98,000 in this scenario here. Okay. Now, I am shortcutting the math a little bit. There's a little more complicated algorithm to use with how many days are in the month, things like that. Again, so don't yell at me through YouTube. I'm literally just simplifying this as much as I can so you can understand it. In an indexed fund like I like to use, we have what we call a zero floor in those index funds. So what that means is, even if the market's down, you lose nothing. So in these first 3 months, even though it was down 10, 5, 5, you would lose nothing in those 3 months. The rest of the year was up 2%, right? So again, using the same math, because this is calculated monthly, now let me just pause there for a second. The reason the month-to-month is so powerful, if it was calculated annually, it would have to take these losses into account, and it would be a net zero. But because it's calculated monthly, we have a 0, 0, 0, and then we have 2 times 9, so 18, so we have 18% growth, which would make our fund $118,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I would rather have $118,000 at the end of the year than $98,000. That's a $20,000 difference because of the way this fund is calculated. Now, let's go with a different scenario. This is scenario number 1. Try to be quick. I don't want to keep you too long on this video. Let's go with a different scenario here. And let's say we have 1% growth every single month. Let's just make this real easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1% growth every year. It's basically 12%. This fund will be worth $112,000. This fund will be worth $112,000. That's if we had a good year of 12% growth. Take this similar scenario, but let's split it. Let's say we have 0 growth for 6 months. We know it's not going to happen, but let's just say, I've given you a couple scenarios here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's say we have 2% growth the rest of the year. So we have 2 times 6 12% growth, we end up with this exact same scenario here. So in other words, in a year where we don't have losses, these funds perform the same. But here's where it gets powerful. Let's say we have 2% losses for 6 months. And then let's say we have 2% gains for 6 months. Because we have a zero floor, we still have a zero for 6 months. We still got our 2% gains. In this scenario, this fund will be a wash. You would still have 100,000 at the end of the year. This one, though, we would get all the gains of the 6 positive months, leaving us with $112,000. So, question for you is, would you rather be in a fund that even if you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bad months of the year, you still have gains? Or would you rather be in a fund where if you have even 1 or 2 bad months, you can end up with a loss? That's the power of the monthly point-to-point. The best 10 years with this has actually doubled in 10 years. The worst 10 years, I think it was still like 67% growth over 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. Be happy to illustrate that for you if we needed to. But I just want you to understand the power of monthly point-to-point, because we take and we throw out all the bad months. So if we have these bad months here, this -10, this -5, they literally just get thrown out the door and they're forgot about. And then we just calculate the good months, and that's what we add onto your fund at the end of the year. I hope this helps understand a little bit about how powerful a monthly point-to-point is. Talk to your financial professional about it. Tell them you want to secure your retirement. You want a monthly point-to-point index fund with a zero floor. That protects your money so you can't lose, but you get all the gains on the good months. I think that's a great scenario. I know my clients love it. I love it for them. Again, I hope this helps you guys. Take care and God bless.